code inside our Swift command line project skeleton. And then we're going to be looking at switch statements in Swift. The switch statement in Swift is a powerful control flow tool that inspects a value and then it matches it against multiple potential patterns. Now, the golden rule in for all switch statements in Swift is exhaustiveness. Now, what this means is that for every single possible value for the type we're checking for, we have to cover every single value for the type we're checking for. Otherwise, the Swift compiler will refuse to build our app. So on the screen, there is a simple example. We have a variable, says a current light, and then the value of the variable is yellow. This is a string type. I think Swift is automatically inferring this as a string as it should. So we're going to use a switch statement to check for the type possible value. So we have switch current light. So we have case. If the case is red, we get stop. If the case is yellow, like this. Now, one thing you would notice is we don't have a break. So Swift does not require us to write a break statement at the end of every case. So as soon as a matching case is executed, our switch statement finishes. And I think this is quite good for preventing bugs. So obviously, if I were to run this, I should get this slowdown. So I'm going to click this play button. Okay, so it's running. And then when it's done, we're going to get the output in our terminal. So I'm going to like click this debug anyway. It's taking a while. Okay, I think it's done. So now we have the bug. So we get slowdown here. If I were to change this to yellow, okay, it's yellow already. If I were to change it to red, and then I save, and then I run this, then we get stop. This is just a basic example of a switch statement. So we should get stop here when this is done. Okay, so we get stop. Good. That works. Now, another thing we might want to do is we might want to match multiple values. So how might we go about that? The way we do that is to separate the values with a comma. So let's look at how we might accomplish that. I'm going to delete this. And then I'm going to do, for instance, I can do let grade equals, let's grade as A. And then down here we can do switch. And then we can do grade. And then here we can have case. So here we want to match multiple values. So we can do something like A, B, no, string, B, C, and then we want to print, let's print you passed. Okay, so this is what is it saying? Switch must be exhaustive. So like we said, switch must be exhaustive. So think because I've not done the default, so I'm just going to put default now so that this goes away, and then we're going to get back to our case later. Print invalid grade. So that's gone now. So okay, so that's gone. Okay, so let's check for another case. We can do case D E, and what about F? And then here we can say print you failed, like so. Now if we run this, obviously we're going to get the first one, you passed. So let's see. So it's running. Check for the output here in our debug console. So it says you passed. So we're matching multiple values now, even though the variable we have is just a single string. So if we change this to E, for instance, and then I save, then it's going to be we failed. You failed rather. See, okay. So watch for the output here. You failed. Okay. Now talk about matching multiple values. We can also have something like this. Can you minimize this a bit? I'm trying to zoom this in so that we can see what I'm doing. So it's leaving me not much space to work with. All right. So let's look at another example of matching multiple values. If we have let name equals username, okay, no, user one, and then you realize in Swift we don't Swift doesn't require us to put a semicolon. That's not the same we put it. It will complain, but it's not a necessity. Okay, we could have let password. Okay, let's pass, and then let's call that pass 123. Good. Now we can do something like, for our switch statement, we can do switch, and then here we can pass a tuple name pass, like so. Then when we do our cases, we can do something like case this, and then we can do admin, and then admin pass, something like this. So this has to match our case, the value inside our case have to match what we have here for this to resolve or execute. So we can do print hello admin. So our code is not exhaustive yet, that's why switch is complaining here. We can also have case. Let's have case, and we could have in here user one, and then we can have pass 123 now, and then here we can have print hello user, and then for the default we could print sorry, who are you? Okay, so that's it. That's what we have. So here we are checking for multiple values. I'm going to save this and then I'm going to run this. Then if any of this checks out, then we should get, in any case, whatever we get will tell us, okay, so it says hello user, so this checks out. uh, if that's not the case, if I just do, I don't know, if I do pass 124 here and I save this, we're gonna get sorry, who are you? Okay, so now we get sorry, who are you? Good. Now, another thing we can do while checking for multiple values is we can combine two values into a single tuple if we like. So we can do something like this. Let's say we can do let auth equals, so we have a tuple here, and then we could have name. Okay, so let's use admin this time, and then we can do pass, and then let's set this to, you can set this to admin 123, like so. Good. So we have our hot variable, so it's defining this string, so that's what we have. And now we can use a switch statement to check, so we can do switch. Now we can use this hot variable, so we can do hot, and then in here for our case we have to expose the values here, so we can do, for instance, user 1, and then we can do pass 123. If this is the case, then we can do print hello user 1, like so. And then we can also do case, then we can do a admin, and then maybe we do, I think it's admin 123, or is it pass 123 if I'm not mistaken? Okay, admin 123. So we can say print hello admin, and then for our default, so that is exhaustive, you can say print sorry, invalid authentication, like so. So this is another way we might look at it. So I'm just going to save this, and then I'm going to run this, and then hopefully that should run. Okay, it says hello admin. Good. So I hope you get the idea. Now, another thing we might want to do is we may want to check for partial match. So maybe we care that some values, maybe we care about some values and we don't care about other values, so to speak. What I'm trying to say is, for instance, we could have, I'm not going to delete everything here. So we have pass. So here we could have something like, let's say IP, and then let's set the value to home 127.0.0.1, like so. Now, in our switch case, a switch statement, see, it's complaining already because now we have 3 items in our tuple. Now we're only accounting for 2 here. So here we could have something like this. We have an underscore. Okay, so then that's gone. And then here, uh, inside, we could have an underscore a as well. Say we just want two values, so we could have an underscore a as well. So if I save this, it's still gonna work like before. Uh, just like I could, okay, I'm gonna play this first. I'm gonna run this first, and then we're gonna see how that works. So it says hello admin. We could have done this. We could have do 127.0.0.1, and then maybe here we put an underscore. It's still gonna work. We're still gonna get hello admin. So this is another way of looking at it. Okay. I don't like using the whole screen. Okay, maybe I do this so that we see quite clearly. Okay, so we could do this as well. I'm going to save, and then I'm going to run as again, and then we should get hello admin as before. Another thing we might want to do is if we want to match only just a part of the tuple, but then maybe we wish to still know what the other part is, we can use the let syntax. This is what I'm talking about. For instance, here we could have, oh, let's go back here. I think this was admin. This was admin. Here we could do let pass, like so. Why is it complaining? Immutable value pass was never used. Okay, so here we could say hello admin. I think I have to use it here. Hello admin. Okay. Your the password is, this is just for demonstration purpose anyway, because this is actually quite stupid. You don't want to review the password like this. But anyway, it should get the demonstration done. So this is going to allow us to review the value that we have here. So if we do here, if I run this, then we should get hello admin, your password is like so. Okay, let's get back to, okay, so that's working. Hello admin, your password is admin123. Another thing we can accomplish with switch is to match ranges. I'm not going to talk too much on that. So I'm just going to write the code, and then I'm going to explain later. So for instance, we could have let age equals, let's say 25, and then here we can say switch age. Now in our case, we could have a range. For instance, we could say case 0 to 12. So if this is the case, then you can say print you are a child, like so. Okay, I'm sorry. What am I doing? Okay, I'm missing the syntax. All right. Now we can also have another case. So this is using range we set our values with 25. Now we're using range in our case. So if we do 13 to, I don't know, maybe 19 here, then we could say print you are a teenager, like so. And then if we do case 20 to 20, I don't know, can we go beyond 65? Then we could say print you are an adult. And then because it's not exhaustive yet, it's complaining, then we can do default. Print we cannot estimate your demographic. Okay, so in this case, realize we're using range. We set our value to be 25, and then we're using range here, range of values here to so for range we have two values, the starting and then the end, I believe. Okay, so I'm going to run this, and then whichever case falls agrees with this, it's going to execute. So what do we have? It says you're an adult. So you realize that we have 25, and then for our case, our range begins from 20. So along this range, we get 25. If I were to change this to 18, for instance, then we're going to get you're a teenager, like so. So it's running, and then finally say you are a teenager. Okay. Now another thing we can do with switch is we can use it when we appear in enumerations. Enum is switch. Enum in Swift has a strict finite number of options. So we have to cover every single enum case in our switch. In this case, we don't need a default case. So let's look at how we might accomplish that. We can do enum, and then let's say network status, like so. And then here we can say case loading. Could have another case success, and then we can have an associated value here, say data. Then we set the type, which is going to be string, and then we could have another case, say failure, and then we can have an associated value, say error code, and then this is going to be integer. Good. So that's our enum. Now, say we want to use a switch case to pair these our enumeration, then we can do something like so we could have a variable let current status, and then we're going to have networking. So this is going to be like our is a default case now inside our enum. So network status dot failure. So here I'm gonna set the error code 404, like so. Good. So that said, we could have then we could have switch, and then we could make use of this now. Current status. So here we could have then we can do a case dot loading, like so. And then we can do print network is loading, like so. We could also do case dot success all right, dot success. Then let's have a nope, I don't want to do this. Then we're gonna have a print you are all set, and then we could have case dot failure, and then here we could have okay. So I think all right, yeah, in our success, what do we have? We have data string. Okay, so here in success I can have let payload then here I can say your host set, and then I can pass payload here. Okay, the same with failure. Here I can say let code. Remember, success and failure, they both have associated enum values. Okay, so that's why I'm doing this in here. So then we can do print there was an error. Okay, so okay, I have to make use of this here. Then I'm gonna do code. All right, so obviously there's one more thing I need to do. I have to okay, there is no default, like we said earlier on. We don't need default when we're using enum with our switch statement. So all right, so let's see what this outputs. I'm going to run this. It's taking a while. Aha, now we get there was an error 404. Now we are printing out the code here. Now, say if we wish to go with success, remember we're passing the payload here, which is for our associated value here. So if we went with success, for instance, say dot success, and then here we could say data is going to be successful connection. So we're expecting string here. So here our payload should be your host set successful connection. So I think I'm going to save this and then I'm going to run this. Good. It says you're all set. This successful connection. So that's it. Now we can also force a fall through. Maybe we want our code in the we want our code to bleed into the next consecutive case. We can do that by forcing a fall through. So let's look at how we might accomplish that. It's going to be okay. So I'm just going to delete this and then say we want to do let threat level equals code red, and then in here we can say switch. Obviously that's going to be threat level, and then we can say case code red. So here we can say print, is it sound the siren or call 911? What should we write here? Sound the siren, like so. And then if we do, what else can we do? If we say case code yellow, that's going to be print lock all exit doors. Okay, and then we can do case, maybe we want to do code green, and then here we can say print monitor radio channels. I don't know if this makes sense, but I think it should get the job done. Then for our default, we can have break here. Okay. Now we said we want this to bleed through, but then we've not actually implemented anything that is going to ensure our case bleed through to the next case. So since we have code ready here, I want to see how this is going to work. So here I'm going to put, after the print statement here, I'm going to do for true. See, giving me the option for true. So I'm going to save this. So if this works, after this has printed, VS Code extensions can get annoying sometimes. So after this has printed, then it should fall through to the next case. So let's see. It's running. Okay. Now it says so we had code red, and then for code red we got sound the siren, and then it fall through to the next case, and then it says lock all exit doors, which is what we have here. So guys, that's all for switch statements. I'll see you soon.